Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to wax your hand sewing thread. The first thing I want to talk about though is when you're hand sewing, now I don't know about anybody else, but when I would hand sew, I always wanted to pull off enough thread to do the whole job with that one strand. I never wanted to end the job and then start another thread to finish it. But what I ended up with was a tangled mess that I had to end up clipping off anyway and restarting. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips that are going to help you get that hand sewing job done right the first time and with little to no headache involved. So the first thing you need to think about is you only need thread about 20 to 25 inches long. You don't need it really long. The more thread you have, the greater chances you have of tangling it up, even if it's waxed. So I would cut it down to about 25 inches and wax it. And I'll show you the difference. Okay, here are two strands of thread that are not waxed. Okay. So they're the same. So what I'm going to do is wax one of them. Okay, but first of all, let me explain something. When you thread your hand sewing needle, you're going to thread it with the end that comes off the spool. You're not going to cut it here and thread it from this end. The thread kind of has a grain of its own, so you're going to thread your needle. This end is going to go into the needle, not this end if you cut it here. So just keep that in mind. So on these, this is what came off first, and so I tied a knot in there. And the reason why I did that is to remind myself to cut the knot off. When I do fine dressmaking, when I'm using those silky fabrics or very thin charmeuse or whatever, you don't want knots in your thread. So I just put this knot in there to remind me to cut that off before I use it. So this is my piece of wax. It's, been used, and because I use it so much, it's been cut through the because of the thread. So all you have to do is put your thumb here and you pull your wax through. You pull your thread through the wax. Okay. Now most people will just leave it there, but I don't, because you look at your thread and it doesn't look any different than the unwaxed one. What I do now is I will melt the wax onto the thread, and it just gives it a new body and texture. And this has been such a game changer for me. I used to hate hand sewing because I hated dealing with the thread tangling up. So you just get your hot iron, place it here, and you pull your thread through, and it melts it into the fibers. And this is what you come away with. This is what it looks like now. So you see the curl is gone, and it kind of bows more than it hangs. So this one here is the waxed, and this is the unwaxed. So, I encourage you to give this a try, see how different your hand sewing experience will be. And I would appreciate if you'd leave a comment. I would like to find out what your opinion is of wax thread. So thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you are notified when I place another video. Okay, thank you. Bye.